Hi guys, it's Sarah. I am back with one of our favorite guests. Her name is Praj, and Praj was on a previous video, so go back and look at that one as well. But we wanted to come back because she's got a lot more to share with us on the topic of healing and also some of her client testimonials. So hi Praj, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate this second opportunity for coming over here and influencing the world in a way that can help them. So I'm really glad for this opportunity.
Likewise, thank you so much. All right, so I know we were talking a little bit before we started recording about the importance of healing. Why don't you go ahead and pick up where we left off?
Yes. So, in the last episode, what we saw was how I opened myself to the world of healing and letting go of my earlier notions of what it is compared to what it really is, and then how it's impacted my life. And in this episode, we'll also see how it's going to help other people and other viewers who are watching it and share it with somebody who needs to know. Always share the love.
Share the love.
So,
Love it.
from considering healing as a voodoo thing to actually experiencing it and understanding that not working on the symptoms but the root causes is what gives us the final outcome that we have been looking for.
Yes.
When I opened that self up and I realized healing is something that cannot be boxed into something, if you put this in and this comes out, nothing like that, but it is a journey, a process that is unique to each one of us, and the outcome is not limited to something. Sky is the limit. You can achieve whatever you want with healing.
Mm.
Whether it is fixing just a back pain, whether it is just getting a good night's sleep, whether it is wanting to experiencing that mind body connection which some people want to, which is I think bit on a higher level, or some people who are just spiritual and want to go down that route and understand more around mind, body, and spirit. It is healing is a spectrum. You can be anywhere in this spectrum. There's nothing right, there's nothing wrong. And everybody defines healing to what suits them or what works best for them.
Yeah.
So, whoever wants to watch this episode, it's for everybody. I am not limiting this to, oh, if you have a back pain, comes do spinal flow. Oh, you have this ache and that ache. No. Whatever you want to fix in your body, whatever you want to achieve, healing is for you.
That's right. All encompassing.
Exactly. Exactly. Because what happens in the traditional ways of treatment is we are fixing on, okay, I want to fix my fever. I want to fix this particular ailment. I want to fix my broken knee and that and this.
Right.
And then you go down that one particular treatment. But the basic thing that we forget is we are one body. Everything is connected. It's like a machine that works together. You
Yeah.
fix one part and you expect everything else to work around it. Doesn't happen like that.
Good point.
You work in totality.
Yep.
And I think the world is opening up. People are open towards it now. They are understanding it more. They are more open to alternative ways of trying and helping themselves rather than just relying on one thing. So instead of giving up and sitting in pain or any kind of health situation,
Hmm.
people are more open to willing and trying new things that can help them. And I know I'm repeating this point, but I want people to understand when something says no side effects, I would say run for it.
Right.
Literally run for it and try it. Don't hold yourself back. Because because that was something that was holding me back. And I'm like, no, I want people to understand this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Okay, so tell us about what spinal flow can do for healing.
The way I defined is wherever there is spine, there is spinal flow and there is healing. Rather than boxing it into, does it work for this? Does it work for that? No. If you have a spine, you have a nervous system, it will work.
True.
Because healing is in all of us. Repeating the point again, we are not supposed to fall sick. We are supposed to be healthy. Give your body one single chance to take up the stress and see the magic happening and your body coming back to health. Yeah. Now, coming back to the experiences I've seen so far, because healing is a spectrum, I can say few things from one end of the spectrum to the other end,
Sure.
so that it will encompass all of your audiences.
Okay.
So this, I would call it the simplest one I've seen so far is there was a very young lady in her 25-year oldish. She had back pain, which was very recent, barely few months, and even I wasn't expecting this, but her back pain issue was gone in one session.
Wow. That's incredible. I've heard of that.
I was surprised. I'm like, oh, that was very quick.
Yes. That's amazing.
So that happened. However, realizing the fact that it's not a get, set, forget thing. Once we've achieved a certain level of health state, we should maintain it. It's like going to a gym. You go to the gym regularly in order to attain a particular health state, whatever you want, whether
Right.
it's building muscles, whether it's losing weight, either which way, or just staying healthy. But once you've achieved it, you still have to be in it to maintain it. Maybe you reduce the frequency a bit, but you still keep going to the gym.
I
If you
love that.
don't go to, yeah, the gym, then you slowly, eventually, with time, again, whatever you've achieved goes away as well.
Yep.
Similarly is with our health. Once you've achieved your state, a little bit of maintenance over a period of time is necessary, because life happens, every day is different,
Yeah.
stress happens, some things are under our control, some things are not. So in that case, this is where your maintenance comes into picture. So
Yeah.
once that person's back pain was fixed, then we went with some monthly sessions for few more months just to keep that in, and then it was completed. So that was good.
That's very good. And I love your analogy too. It's really quite silly if you think about it when people ask like how many sessions will I need and will I be fixed? Well, yeah, you might fix that one problem, but what in life does not need maintenance? Nothing.
Yes.
Everything needs maintenance. Our landscaping and our yards need maintenance. Our roofs need maintenance. Our cars need maintenance. Of course, our bodies need maintenance. And we brush our teeth every day and we shower. And so it all needs maintenance. And that's an ongoing thing forever and ever because, like you said, we live in a world that is going to continually to, break us down in certain ways.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is something people need to understand. Like, yes, we have achieved something, and now let's do something more to maintain it so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
And also the point that our bodies is more like a muscle memory. If it's holding on to something, letting go and getting back to a new normal
Yeah.
also takes a habit. So allow your body to build that habit to
Hmm.
then stay that healthy as well.
Yeah. Very good. You're setting very good, clear expectations for somebody that wants
Yeah.
to try spinal flow, but what they should understand, it's not just one session. Even if it does fix your problem, it should be an ongoing maintenance plan.
Yes, exactly. Because I want to simplify healing. I want everybody, even non-believers, whoever, to understand this, and let's make this happen more.
Yeah.
Like in the last episode that you said, we have massages, acupunctures, and everywhere around the corner in every town.
Yeah.
So should be this particular concept of fixing root causes, healing yourself, and then maintaining it.
Yeah. I love it. You're right. Spinal flow needs to be on every corner
Yes.
because everybody, like you said, everybody with a spine needs it. Even our animals need it.
Yes, actually, I have a cat. Now, cats are difficult to contain a bit, but I've tried it twice on her,
Hmm.
and she somehow didn't run away. Now, that's not my cat. Somehow we have befriended, ended up being
Yeah.
parents to a particular cat. Now she's kind of ours. She comes, goes, and everything. It's
Yeah.
her world.
Yeah.
The house is hers now. So twice I did try, and then she didn't move an inch. She kind of liked it.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh,
A neighbor of mine has a golden retriever dog who is just really high energy and cannot stop wiggling and cannot stop barking and just very, very high energy, obsessive compulsive with sticks and things like this.
yeah.
Just yesterday, I found her access point, and the owner was amazed because within like 3 seconds, the dog stopped moving. Like she was calm, not wiggling, nothing, just sitting there like, what is that? And so then she's like, I want to try it. And so she's actually getting certified. So she found the access point and it happened again. So yeah, animals respond to it very quickly.
Oh, very quickly, yeah. Amazing, amazing. See, it's like you don't expect something, and then things like this happen, and they make you believe in magic again.
Yeah, yeah. No, the central nervous system is amazing. The fact that we can tap into it with spinal flow, and like you said, not just fix this, this, and this, but like as a whole, our
Oh,
whole being can heal itself.
exactly. Okay, so coming back to the question, that was the simplest one I've seen. The other one, which I loosely mentioned last time, was there was a lady in her late 60s.
Hmm.
There was a lot of emotional issue in that life for a longer period, right from childhood all through marriage as well.
Hmm.
So it's difficult for that person to let go of all the emotions that she's holding up.
Hmm.
But the access point I had in the first few seconds, in the first sessions, I haven't had that way with any other person till date. It was, what do I say, heavenly or something else. The way her body opened up, but then it shut down very quickly.
Yeah,
And I think the way I can analyze why that happened is if you're holding on to something for such a long time, your body's used to holding it, whether it is physical stress, whether it is emotional stress, both of it which are partly in our control, somewhat. And then if your body is given that chance to let go, it finds it difficult for the first time unless it gets used to it.
yeah,
Where the body realizes, okay, it is safe for me. Now I can start de stressing the body.
yeah, yeah. Like holding a tight grip on something over time, it can loosen, 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 but just to let it go suddenly would seem strange.
Will seem strange, right? Because if hold that for 30, 40 years and you get one sud, it's like a jerk to the body.
Yeah,
So it will make its adjustments to come back to the old pattern.
right.
But then as and soon the body goes through more sessions, which is where I'm saying sometimes you need more sessions.
Yeah, to solidify the change.
Exactly. Or make the body realize it is safe to let go. It's okay to get rid of the issues. It's
Yeah,
fine. This will work for you. Go ahead.
yeah.
It's kind of when a child learns to walk.
Hmm.
First time they might fall, they not might, they do fall and they learn it through a process.
Yeah,
Similarly, for a body, learning to let go is a very big part of healing,
yeah.
which is very difficult when the issues have been chronic.
Yeah, very true. If I may, stories are coming to my mind
Yeah,
too. So just
yeah.
yesterday, I was working on a friend of mine, and she told me that if I hadn't gotten off of that particular point, she was about ready to lose it. She was like, I was about ready to like scream, and I said, I told her afterwards, then you should have screamed, like you should let it out. But that's happened multiple times now, where she's like just on the verge, and she could barely contain it any longer. So I think there's a part of her, well, she even admitted, I'm scared to let it out. I don't want to. I'm scared. And so I think that's happening as well.
Yes,
The person might be overriding it with their conscious mind, and they're just not quite, they're scared of letting it go.
that's true, that's true. And sometimes I think this mostly happens in men where they are not aware of how much they're holding up and
Mm-hmm.
that it's okay to let go.
Yeah.
And also overall the societal upbringing that tells us shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that, don't cry, it doesn't look good, don't scream, not
Right.
acceptable, right? Don't yell. Those kind of things over a period of time, then we are subconsciously into okay doing certain things and not doing certain things.
Yeah, it wouldn't be appropriate, right? Yeah,
Appropriate, exactly, like behave in a societal way and everything. That's where people find it difficult to let go.
exactly. Um,
And
Please.
now you go. I lost my chain of
Oh
thought.
no, I'm so sorry. No, no, I also did too. So back to your person though. You were talking about your person that opened up
Yeah.
and then shut back. Have you made any more progress, or has her body made more progress since then?
So the progress is there. I won't call it slow or fast,
Hmm.
which is where I am on the spectrum of the second example, where things do take time as well. But every session progress is happening. Every session healing is happening. The person feels better. The person is feeling changes. Sometimes it's taking longer, but it's still happening. And then because of some reasons, she had to travel overseas. So we stopped for a while. Now I'm waiting for her to come back and then we can
Okay.
continue.
Okay, so change. As long as there's change happening, then we'll take it.
Yes, exactly. Any kind of change.
Hmm.
Because what happens is, which is different to a conventional way of treating a particular body part. In spinal flow, the body is considered as a whole. It is your spine, your nervous system that is de-stressing and allowing the body, where the body has its own innate intelligence to do what it needs to. We are not driving the body to say, fix the knee pain or go and fix this. No.
Right.
The one thing we as healers do is kind of allowing the body to de stress, create that environment with zero stress.
Yeah,
And the body is so intelligent, so powerful that it will do its own thing.
you got it.
Healing, and this applies to any kind of healing modality, and people need to understand this. Healers are more like activators. We are like that trigger point where we trigger those
This point.
healing access points or trigger those situations to allow the body to de-stress, which
Yeah.
sometimes can be a annoying process because
Mhm.
some people don't want to leave the stress they're holding subconsciously.
Right. Right. Yes. I love that. Yeah. It's the body that's doing it. And there are modalities
Yes.
out there that are more, well, like chiropractic. You're actually manipulating the blockage by popping it.
Yes.
And, you know,
Physiotherapy for it.
what was that?
Physiotherapy as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, exact. That's a really good example. And massage too. Massage is almost like coaxing or almost borderline forcing the muscle to relax when
Yeah.
maybe for some reason it was hanging on to it on purpose, trying to keep the body held together. So what makes spinal flow so unique is, as you were just expressing, is the body is doing it itself. And so we as practitioners are not actually manipulating any of it. We're creating that environment, like you said, to create this ultimate stress-free, relaxing parasympathetic state. And then
Correct.
the body will take over from there.
Exactly. And that's why the effects are long lasting because the body made it. The body made it happen,
There you
which
go.
is natural for the body. Hence, the results are long lasting.
I love that. That's such a beautiful way to put that together for people. Yeah.
Exactly. Like explaining them step by step so they understand it and then they open their world up to it and live a pain free life.
And it's possible. And it's really possible for people. Again, the lady I was working on yesterday, when I was doing the initial, where you're pressing down and feeling for blockages along her spine, she was like,
Mhm.
ow, 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 ow. Because everyone, even though I wasn't even pressing that hard, everyone hurt. But by the end of the session, we were just curious how much pain she would have at the end. I did the exact same thing. And she's like, I can't believe it. I feel no pain now when you're doing that. So
Yeah.
just 30 minutes later, 20, 30 minutes later, and the pain was gone.
Beautiful, beautiful. One of the things that I remember now is where we are not ready to let go, our body's holding it. My own experience, and I had where I used to be like this,
Hold
literally
just tight.
holding like this, right? And at that point in life, I didn't know what stress means or how do you interpret it, understand it,
Right.
completely new. Yeah. And then I used to feel like this, and consciously I had to make efforts to pull it down, to pull it down. I was
Yeah,
forcing it to pull down. Yeah. This mostly happens with people who work on computer all the time as well.
sure.
But that is the physical stress that we can let go with a lot of, I won't say lot of, a conscious effort you make.
Hmm.
It's a lifestyle change you make and then it works.
Hmm.
But other than that, there are other components as well, which would be an emotional stress with the stress levels that you have for whatever reason. I
Hmm.
used to be like this
Hmm.
all the time and I had to pull it back. So my body had become accustomed to this way.
Yeah,
And I had to make efforts to pull it down, pull it down, pull it down,
right.
conscious all the time. It did happen eventually. Spinal Flow did the magic in the end,
Hmm.
apart from whatever my own efforts to pull it down and everything.
Yeah,
But to get it back to its natural state
yeah,
took time,
yeah,
and my body wasn't ready to let go. But once it knew it was fine, it let it go. Now it's not a problem for me at all
yeah.
because the body has created its new normal and it's okay with it. That is its natural state.
I love that. I haven't really thought about it this way before until you just expressed that. But even yoga, even stretching is like forcing something to happen. Like you said, I was telling my shoulders to drop down and relax. Well, that's what yoga is basically. But again, after a spinal flow treatment, you're doing nothing. You're laying on a table face down. The practitioner's just touching your access points, activating your nervous system. When you're done with your spinal flow treatment, your body has changed. You feel like you had a deep tissue massage. And
Yes,
and that's absolutely amazing. And you didn't have to physically manipulate yourself or
exactly.
mentally even tell yourself to calm down and de-stress and stretch.
Exactly, exactly. Which normally, without any scientific experience experiments,
Hmm.
proves the point that your bodies are designed to heal, to be at a healthy state. Give
Yeah.
them a chance. Give your body a chance and see the magic.
Yeah. And do the modality that your body responds to the best. And that's, without a doubt, from my own personal experience and the people I've worked on so far, without a doubt, it's spinal flow. I mean, all the other modalities are awesome in their own right, but this is the one that takes care of it all.
True. True, true, true. I did read a lot about Reiki, try to understand how it works and everything. At that point in my life, I didn't understand the concepts of energy that I do today as
Right.
well back then. But the fact that I didn't have anything under control, and there's a Reiki practitioner who would be doing it, and I exactly don't understand what's happening,
Right.
or yeah, made me feel a bit unsafe
Yeah.
and not in control of my own body, and I have to trust someone else.
Right.
I was like, Reiki is amazing. I have friends who do perform it as a professional.
Mhm.
I have people who know people who have seen results with it. So amazing modality, no doubt about it. It's
Yes.
just my personal opinion. I felt like I'm not in control, or I'm giving controls completely to somebody else.
Yeah.
I wasn't okay with that. This is my personal opinion.
I
Hence,
personally
I,
feel the same way. I do. Yeah.
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 So I was like, okay, I'm not exactly sure what's happening, why it's happening, or how it'll work and everything.
Hmm.
So I did give that a chance.
Right.
Because somewhere when a person is going to a practitioner, there has to be a level of trust, apart from all the reviews and everybody that you go through,
Yeah.
a level of control that the patient should have, so
Hmm.
that they know they are responsible for their own body at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And having that comfort level helps the patient or the client to then absorb all the effects in a more seamless way and fix their issues.
Yeah, yeah, and I like what you said about having a level of control. That it's with spinal flow, the healing is happening within yourself. All the practitioner is doing is activating the access points, activating the nervous system through the access points, is what I should say. And so, yeah, there's nothing woo-woo or scary about that because your body is doing it all. We're not taking the credit for it. Where,
Correct.
like you say, other modalities, it's kind of like giving a little control over to somebody else.
Kind of. And happy to be proven wrong here. I'm absolutely fine to correct myself. Maybe things have changed, they have improvised, and maybe we are not aware.
But that was your
Perfectly.
feeling, and that's valid.
That was my personal feeling. You're right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me one point about I was watching something, and this was about what healers do and everything. And it made so much sense. It's on the line of spirituality.
Hmm.
If someone believes in spirituality, the way they define healing is, what the healer does is basically they have these skill sets to open up the healing frequencies. It is up to the client to absorb how much of what they want. A healer never takes credit for anything. They are just there holding your hand, allowing you to go through that process of healing and fix your health.
Yeah.
We are just process activators, and that's it.
I
And that
love it.
made sense, because healing is more like a partnership
Hmm.
between the healer and the client. We
Hmm.
work together as a team. That's where the trust comes in. We work as a team
Yeah.
and get things sorted.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know what your background is, but like for me, I'm a Christian, so I attribute every good thing to God. And I believe that He created us and He created our bodies with the ability to heal themselves. And so I liken it to like a medical doctor. If somebody comes in and they, have injured themselves very badly, the medical doctor, might clean the wound and stitch it up. the body does the rest. And so it wouldn't be right of the medical doctor to take all the credit. Oh, I healed you. I healed you. No, they supported your healing, but God made it heal and your body healed itself.
Exactly, exactly. I think it's a bit of a cultural thing, which is shifting, of course, now, but coming from a background where doctors are considered next to God,
Yeah, right.
which must have been true back then,
Yeah,
where knowledge was limited,
right.
exposure to anything else apart from your own thing was limited.
Right.
However, now everything is available to everybody, and the responsibility that your body, your health is your responsibility. You cannot be relying on a system,
Yeah,
on any hospitals or any doctors, but using their skill sets, allowing them to help you. But it's ultimately your responsibility.
yeah,
Just because someone's prescribing you a particular pill and you take it and that's it, and you don't sit down and don't do anything about it, that's changing now, which is going in the right direction.
yeah. Thank
We
goodness
can't.
it's changing.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because imagine you and me, we would have been sitting in pain just like that, going by life, passing by through.
Yeah, and that is all that they've ever recommended for me is prescriptions, and it never healed anything.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And I think the world is moving in that direction where one particular method of treatment is not it. You have to use combinations.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
have to see what works for you. Because every person is unique, everybody's situation is different, everybody's stresses in life is different.
Yeah.
Maybe acupuncture was an answer to someone and that's it, finished. Maybe spinal flow technique was an answer for someone and that's it.
Mhm.
Maybe physiotherapy was just an answer for them and that's it. Maybe all three was someone an answer for and that's it.
Yeah.
But who's going to try all this? You have to, because it's your body, as simple as that. As harsh or rude as it may sound, but unfortunately that's the reality.
Yeah, yeah. No one's gonna take care of you unless you take care of yourself. I mean,
Yes.
it's got to be your responsibility. And I think, one of the main reasons for us doing this video is just to really help people to, well, like you said, your mission is for everybody to take healing seriously. And you can save people a lot of time, and money instead of going down a bunch of different rabbit trails. Why not just go straight to the way I like to liken it is the breaker panel of the house. Go straight to the breaker panel. That's what the nervous system is.
Exactly, go to the root cause and get it fixed.
Yeah,
Anyways, coming back to our spectrum of healing.
yeah,
Now, as part of our certifications, we need 10 people where we do the sessions and get a feedback from them.
yeah.
As part of that, I had a lady who is a sister to one of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So the friend is a physiotherapist, and that's her sister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She is unfortunately having some kyphosis situation
Mm-hmm.
where there will be a curve on the back.
Right.
Now, English isn't her first language. She is Turkish by her mother tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was just the first session. I've never seen her before. This was the first time I was doing a session on her. Interesting part with her was her body opens up, shuts down,
Mm.
opens up, shuts down. It was an amazing experience. And after the session, when I was discussing with her, the elder sister, who's a physiotherapist, said, that's how she is. That's how her nature is. She's very mysterious.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was an amazing experience to have.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, what she mentioned was, now this is a translation from her mother tongue into English. What she said was she felt like her soul left the body and felt right back in.
Interesting. Well,
I don't know how to decipher that or understand it,
yeah.
because a common theme across every client is they experience a level of indescribable happiness which you can't put in word. Maybe that's what she meant.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. Or I haven't heard so much happiness from my clients as I have just deep, deep relaxation and peace. They felt
Peace.
peace and connected to their bodies for the first time.
Yes, exactly. Maybe that's what she meant,
Yeah.
but soul was the word she used, so that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
that was on the other side of spectrum.
Yeah.
So I went from a simple physical ailment issue to something in the center,
Yeah.
to the other end of where you have soul body connections and everything. So right there we can see, with the limited amount of clients I've seen so far, because I've just started,
Yeah.
I've seen the spectrum so far from one end to the other end, and I'm only looking forward to what next gonna happen,
Yeah.
which is why I say sky is the limit when it comes to healing. You can experience anything and everything in between, whatever you want.
Love it. That is so
Yeah,
exciting for people. Thank you for sharing that. That was wonderful.
exactly. It's amazing when I experience this. I'm like, oh, my life is so much interesting now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you have a purpose behind what you're doing, you know?
Mm,
Help helping heal the world. It's pretty awesome. One
pretty
person at a
awesome.
time.
Yes, amazing. So, other than these experience, then we have in betweens
Hmm.
where it's someone has a sore back, and within few sessions they're feeling better, especially with a bit of lower back pain issues,
Hmm.
where there's stiffness and tightness, and the pelvis is misaligned.
Right.
I've seen in 5 sessions, I have seen the pelvis getting aligned, which was great because this person is in her late 60s,
Hmm.
has delivered 4 babies. The last delivery wasn't that good. She couldn't even reach to the hospital bed. She had to give birth standing up,
Oh, wow.
and the birth was very quick
Mm.
since then. And she herself felt her pelvis and everything moving during that birth and afterwards. So she had been through a lot of chiropractic treatments over the year. When she came to me for the first time, I could visibly see like the pelvis is, even with naked eyes you can
Yeah.
clearly see the misalignment.
Yeah.
And you just yesterday, was it yesterday I saw that the difference is not much. And I'm like, damn, I'm so stupid. I should have taken photos because I wasn't expecting such fast results. Missed the chance of
Yeah.
getting the results out.
Yeah.
Dumb me, seriously. But then that's visibly aligned now, which is great.
Yeah.
Amazing. And the person has also noted experience in feeling more confident in
Hmm.
her back,
Good.
being able to stand properly and feel better.
That's so beautiful.
So,
Well, I worked on a 60 something year old. I think she's mid 60s. She's retired, and this past weekend, and she had never experienced it before, and she texted me later and said, "I feel like a 20-year-old again." So that's pretty impressive what can happen after just one session.
that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Then I'll go on the other end of spectrum, where an interesting thing happened. I was working on a lady who also wants is now a practitioner,
Nice.
because she needs to help her sister back in Hong Kong, which is who's dealing with some serious health issues with the back
Sure.
and everything. So she's now flying. I think she's already in Hong Kong right now, helping her sister with spinal
Good.
flow,
Good.
because her sister's been through a lot many operations and other ways of treatment. Instead of making her health situation better, it went down
Yeah.
the direction, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So now she's doing spinal flow technique on her sister. So she said while she was in the treatment, she felt like she was meeting her, and her mother has passed away, I think 30 years ago or something.
So she must have had an emotional blockage associated with that.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be with that experience.
Yeah.
So just letting the viewers know about emotional blockage and release. Do you want to explain it quickly, or?
I guess the most simple explanation I have for it is just an emotional blockage happens when we don't have the time or capacity to process an event right when it happens or quickly thereafter. So our bodies, they can't process it, so they store it away for another time to deal with it later. And that spinal flow session was that particular lady's time for her body to deal with that memory and that blockage.
Exactly. Just continuing a little bit further with what you have said, Sarah, is coming back to the basics. So, our body stores physical stress, emotional stress, and chemical stress. In spinal flow technique, in a session, when somebody is undergoing that particular, should we call treatment?
Sure. A session or treatment. Yeah.
Session. Or a session is better. I hate the word treatment.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
lit.
I like session better too.
Yeah, let's say session better. Yeah. So when a person is undergoing a particular spinal flow technique session,
Hmm.
what happens is the body decides, not decides, the body undergoes the process of releasing these three stresses.
Hmm.
It could be all of these three, it could be any of these three as well. So if some emotions or some emotional blockages have happened in your life through any time period, if your body decides to bring it up and release it,
Hmm.
some people do have that experience. Some people might feel a little bit teary or even happy, because I felt happy. I don't know why. I felt very happy.
Cool.
So the body decides to release off those stresses. That's what an emotional release could do. Physical stresses, very simple to understand. If it's any physical stress, you had a whiplash injury, you fell down, there's some pain somewhere in your body part. When the body releases that stresses,
Hmm.
that's the physical stress that will take off the body. Chemical stress, meaning whatever we have eaten through our life. Chemical stresses can come from processed food, the medicines that we are taking, pollutants in the environment,
Yeah.
which our body cannot process. It doesn't know what to do with that particular stresses. It just goes and sits in our back as blockages.
Hmm.
And in a spinal flow session, any of these three stresses starts take uh, releasing from the body, basically.
Exactly. Exactly. Very well put. Very good explanation. And yeah, like even just explain to people with the chemical ones, we've as practitioners been trained to be able to see them so we know what to look for and we can feel the chemical blockages as well as we can feel the emotional ones and the physical ones. So it's
And
pretty neat to come in for an evaluation and get scanned, and we'll be able to tell you what kind of blockages you have and what to expect.
yes, yeah. So coming back to that example, in one of her sessions, that's the experience she had of meeting her mother, and she did mention that her mother passed away a long time ago.
Hmm.
However, it did have impact on her life, she being the eldest sister, if I remember, and the responsibilities and everything that
Yeah.
came with it.
Yeah.
So maybe she was storing that particular emotional stressor somewhere that even she might have forgotten, but she felt really better after that emotion, after that session emotionally.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even expecting it. But at the end of the session, after the session, she felt very satisfied, very happy.
Yeah, and that's something for people to understand too, is the body can only process these blockages when it is in a parasympathetic state. And there's not very many times in a day when the body is in that state. So that's why spinal flow is so helpful. You might go in for a different modality, but and you might get manually manipulated or stretched or physiotherapy or whatever, but your body, if it's not in the parasympathetic state, then the true healing is not actually happening.
Hmm, exactly. So, those are the key experiences that I can remember.
That was wonderful.
Of, yeah, some key ones which have stayed with me and will always stay with me because I wasn't expecting them. They just happen. So, you don't know what to expect every day.
Yeah, miracles. Expect miracles.
Expect miracles, exactly.
I
And
love
I
it.
think we are calling them miracles now compared to what was possible in the past.
Yeah,
Just imagine 20, 30 years down the line when things would have changed. These miracles will actually become an everyday occurrence because more and more people are into healing and fixing their bodies.
yes, yes,
Right?
and doing it earlier too, like not waiting until
Well,
you're in your mid 40s and 60s to start healing yourself.
yes.
It'll become mainstream like you have been talking about, and people will start, taking care of their kids and, before they even have a chance to really have a long-term blockage. Won't that be wonderful?
Oh, that is so true. So true. Oh, yeah, right. Actually, parents will treat their kids differently, knowing that what's possible and what's out there.
Yeah.
Because I can only imagine if my mother knew about these things, they didn't exist, that's a different story. But if they knew, that's what she would have done for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, let's go and do this and fix you, or something like that. She was helpless because she didn't know what to do. She could only see me in pain.
Yeah, and like Dr. Carly said, you can even do, in fact, almost every child that's born, at least naturally, most of the time they have a blockage right after birth because of the birth process and like a physical blockage.
Yeah,
So imagine, if a parent knows about this, they can start working with spinal flow from day one with their kids.
that would be amazing. Like, imagine a generation of healed babies.
Yes. Yes. No, that's something. That's pretty cool.
See, the earth will be so different. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking big things here, but still,
Yeah.
there's
Uh,
no tax on imagining, so why not?
yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's taking off like wildfire. I have literally worked on 3 or 4 people now that have gone on to start getting certified. So it's taking off. People want to not only experience it, but be able to give back to others. And so, yeah, at some point, there will be a world of healing happening.
That's amazing. Cool.
Wow. Well, this has been amazing. Was there anything else that you wanted to share before we wrap this one up? And I'm sure we'll be doing more because it's so fun to talk with you.
Okay. A tip for the viewers, because I do this all the time and it works for me. Now, I don't remember if I read this somewhere or how it came into my life. I have no clue, but I do this all the time. So, the thing is, in our life, situations happen. We have situations to deal with. It could be big, small, anything. Yeah. We worry about the future a lot. We worry about the outcomes a lot. Something simple as, okay, you've given a job interview but you don't know if you're getting the job or not, or you've been laid off and you're looking for your next job and situations are not looking great financially, emotionally, or things happen in a life we didn't see coming. So basically, if you're in any kind of not so good situation, what I do is I keep telling myself anything that's happening next in my life is going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be something that I don't know what it is, but it is exactly what I need and it's going to happen.
I love that. That's so powerful. Expect miracles. You tend to get what you expect. So don't expect the worst, expect the best. Both of them take faith.
Both of them faith, exactly. I read this somewhere and it made sense. If you think nothing, if you think nothing's going to happen, you are right. If you think something's going to happen, you are right either.
Correct. Yep.
Right? So initially, when I started doing this, I just used to say it because I was in a very crap situation
Yeah.
and I was very worried of what's going to happen next. But I kept on telling this to myself. Initially, I didn't believe it. I just said it out of fear. I just kept on saying it because there was nothing else humanly left for me to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you
And
just,
then yeah,
yeah.
things that sometimes you don't have control, or whatever you do, you've done it and now that's it, right? So you feel helpless. So I kept on doing this. Initially, I it didn't resonate with me, but I just did it. There's nothing else left for me. I just kept on saying it, kept on
Yeah.
saying it, and I was worried, I was scared, dealing with a lot of other things, and it's like my plate is full, I don't know what to do kind of situation.
Yeah.
And then what happened next was something I never imagined. I never prayed for it. I never knew this could happen. I didn't even knew these things existed. But whatever happened, when I look in the hindsight, that was a perfect thing for my situation,
That's so
which I realized afterwards in the future.
right, right. And I'm kind of in the middle of one of those situations at this moment in my life. And maybe I should say I'm on the 2/3 of it. Like I'm almost at the end of it, but I'm far enough past the middle now that I can look back and think I did waste a lot of time and energy and cause a lot of stress for myself worrying about, during the whole first third and middle third of this
Mm,
whole process that was, it was truly a waste of energy because now I'm towards the end of it and I can see it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
exactly. I am in kind of situation right now, but and it's changed me. This thought process has changed me. So I am not worrying. Sometimes it does happen because we are human at the end of
Yeah,
the
we're
day.
ups and downs.
We ups and down, we do go back to the old patterns,
Yeah.
but it's important to pull yourself back out and come back on the track.
Yes. Yes.
So sometimes I do fall back, but then I wake myself up. I'm like, okay, get up, get up, get up, get up. Or a day will go by when you're not feeling good, when you're sad. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Accepting you're feeling that way is more important than resisting it.
Hmm.
Because the sooner you accept it, the sooner that phase passes and the next thing comes up.
Yeah, and I actually like to take a little bit more proactive approach. I think that for myself, being aware that I feel bad,
Mm,
accepting, okay, and then accept I feel bad, okay, I feel bad, and then ask myself, what thoughts am I thinking that are making me feel this way? Because every feeling is preceded by a thought. So then I
mm,
identify the thoughts and I'm like, oh, well, no wonder I feel bad. I'm having doubt thoughts and fear thoughts and all these scarcity thoughts. And so then I consciously choose to change my thoughts and then my feelings change and I can snap myself back into a good state without having to be in it for like an entire day. It can just be, minutes later and just focusing on gratitude and all the abundance that is around me can change it.
exactly. Exactly. So that's for your viewers, Sarah. Try this method, and I would love to know in comments once someone has tried this and how it has worked for them.
Oh, I
And
love that.
I'm not saying let me know if it works. I'm saying let me know how it has worked for you, because it's guaranteed this works. It's only training your subconscious mind to deal with things differently to
Yeah.
get an outcome. Because as human beings, we just know this much, literally just this much. There's a whole world around that
Mm,
we cannot even comprehend. There's something more beyond our logic, and that governs everything. Call
so
it
true.
God, call it universe, call it whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Name it anything you like. It's there because you can plan as much as you can. Ultimately, something else happens, and that something else is actually way better than what you planned for.
Yeah.
And having that awareness to realize it is more crucial.
Yeah. I love that. You're so good. Thanks for sharing that. That was a wonderful way to end this and very empowering. And like you said, put it in the comments because it's not if it's going to work, it is going to work. So we just want to know what your personal experiences were.
That would be lovely. I enjoyed this conversation, Sarah.
Like,
Amazing. Thank you so much for the opportunity, as always.
oh, you're so welcome. And thank you as well. The pleasure was all mine. To be continued again, it's at some point in the future because I love talking with you as well. Thank you,
Me
Praj.
too. I would love to. Let's heal the world as much as we can.
Beautiful. Have a good one.
Thanks, Sarah.
Bye.